Hello and welcome to Audible River. I'm Alan Rice, and I am very happy to have with me here in Auburn, California, with the Venerable Geshe Tenzin Lekshey, a Tibetan Buddhist monk traveling with a group of fellow Tibetan monks from the Gaden Shartse Norling Monastery in Mundgod, South India. And hello, Geshe Lekshey. Very good to see you today.
Tasha Delay, very good to see you, Alan.
Hi. So, what are you and your fellow monks doing here in Auburn right now?
Here in Auburn, we are constructing the mandala, the deity of Vajrasattva, which is the deity of the purifications of all those negative energies, negative forces that really making us into all those kind of like polluted mind and afflicted, and those things that really unsatisfactories that really kind of like growing in our society, to able to purify those things. And so we are constructing the mandala of Buddha purification, Vajrasattva.
Wow. So, how long does it take to construct this mandala? It's made out of sand, right?
Yes, it takes by the two monks approximately like 75 to 120 hours.
Wow. Yes. Well, I just took a look at the progress of it. It's pretty far along. It's very, very beautiful. And so tell me, so say again the deity, the name of the deity that...
So the name of the deity is Vajrasattva.
Vajrasattva.
Yeah.
And Vajrasattva, if you're here in the presence of the mandala, are you getting some benefit from Vajrasattva, or how does that work?
So Vajrasattva is an embodiment of all Buddha's purifications.
Okay.
To purify all those negative energies, negative imprints, negative afflictions of your mind, so that you can be come up with all those clear awareness of your mind and live your life more happy and peaceful. So this Vajrasattva deity works as a key principle in a luminous form to bring you this inexhaustible bliss.
Inexhaustible bliss. I think that almost everybody would like to have that. That's a wonderful thing to be bringing to people, that possibility of a deity that can help clear the mind. So in Tibetan Buddhism, the clearing of the mind is a very important thing. Let's talk about that a little bit. Why do we need to clear our minds?
So we think that the mind is the principle among the body and speech that we have. So when we say our world, our universe, although there are many things outside there, but when we really research inside within you, your existences works with your body, speech, and mind. And within those three, body, speech, and mind, your mind is the master who is ordering, or who is guiding, who is letting us do all those kind of things through the body and the speech. So that's why if you can clear the awareness or clear all those kind of afflictions in your mind, that's how you can really have the feelings of genuine peace and happiness. So that's why we really insist and work on the mind trainings.
The mind trainings. Well, that sounds very important. Our mind is our main vehicle for engaging with everything, with our body, with the universe. And so it's our inner life in the mind, is what you're saying, that if we can clear this, then it makes the other things easier to clear. Is that
yes?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so it starts inwardly, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right. And these go back to teachings from the Buddha, right?
Yes.
Right. So you're in a lineage, I understand, right? That you're the things like the mandalas that you create, the teachings that you know, that these come directly all the way back to the Buddha himself, right?
Yes. How is we are from the lineage? If we talk about the Tibetan Buddhists,
Yes.
we are from the Gelug lineage school. Gelug is the yellow hat religious school which is founded in 14th centuries by our master called Lama Tsongkhapa, and he become very revered and most like honored master at that time, and he founded this special traditions of the Tibetan Buddhist schools called Gelug traditions. And that's how we say that Lama Tsongkhapa is also the students of Atisha, the master Dibamkara, who is from India, who used to be the abbot of Nalanda universities in India. Present time it is located in northern India. The state name is Bihar state. So this Atisha master is a very, very precious for the Buddhist teachings to flourish in many different places. And especially this Atisha master, why he is so precious? Because although Buddha gave teachings, many different 84,000 of subjects of teachings, but those teachings, when the Buddhist councils happens from the first time to second time, third time, so what really happened is all those teachings spread out and become like a more kind of like practices by the different the practitioners of the different vehicles and the different ways how it is like flourish in a different rivers, how it goes. And but what happened is at the time of Atisha, he is a master that who combined all the teachings of Buddha into one essence point.
Wow.
And then he bring this to the Tibet. And that's how the all those sutras and tantras and all those philosophy, like we call the Sutantika, Chittamatra, Vaibhashika, Madhyamika, those are the most the essence philosophy that Buddha taught. So he combined all those things and bring this to the Tibet by having both vehicle practices of Mahayana and the Hinayana. So that's how he bring this to Tibet, and because of his teachings and his the love, kindness, he taught this to Tibetan people, how we've been preserving until now. And Adisha is from our Gelug schools. What we say that is Atisha is the one that who is following the lineages of the Chantakriti and the Nagarjuna, who is in the wisdom part.
Oh, okay. The wisdom part. Okay,
Yes.
right.
And so Nagarjuna is also, if you go to the lineages teachings, it's from the Buddha Manjushri, who is the Buddha of wisdoms.
The Buddha of wisdoms. Okay.
Yes.
So there's more than, okay, to clarify a little bit about Buddhism, we have an incarnation of Buddha who created these teachings that branched out into the different schools. Is that what we're talking about? But there are many other Buddhas.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about what is a Buddha? What is Buddhahood? What is that about?
So Buddha is something that we call one who is completely awakened, or who attained the supreme mind of enlightenment. And Buddhahood means that all those kind of like negative imprints that it is there in our body, speech, and mind, who has completely purified and removed and abandoned those things. And also all those positive things that we can generate from our body, speech, and mind, of all those virtuous and wholesome way, someone who has generated in the most supreme and ultimate the stage. So that kind of person, or that kind of beings, that who has a aspiration to attain that Buddhahood, to work and service for all those mother sentient beings. So with that kind of beings we call noble beings. So ones who has attained that supreme accomplishment. So that's how we call the Buddha.
Okay, and you mentioned for all sentient beings. Now, who are all sentient beings?
So when we say all sentient beings, means the beings who have consciousness in their in their existence. For
Okay.
example, like all those beings that who are like living and who dying in a process of nature, and who has the feelings of the good things and the bad things, and who has the feelings to have more seeking for the happiness, and the one who is seeking and also happiness and all those kind of joyous things, and also avoiding all those problems and sufferings. So those kind of beings we call sentient beings. If we go into the sentient beings, how many beings are there? So we call the god realms, the little g god realms are the sentient beings, and the demigod realms are sentient beings. Human realms are sentient beings. So these are the three fortunate realms. And we have animal realms, we have hungry ghost realms, we have hell realms. These are we call unfortunate realms. So those 6 realms, the 6 different world beings who are in this universe that we are sharing together, and what they are all seeking for is happiness, and they avoiding is sufferings. So those kind of beings we call sentient beings.
Oh, this is fascinating because so sentient beings. There's a broad range of the type of consciousness, the kind of living, the kind of experience. I mean, we're talking, all the way from gods to beings who live in the lower depths of hell. That all these people, all these beings, let's say, all these sentient beings, can experience some type of trouble in their minds, I suppose. I mean, even if you're a god, is what you're saying. So the gods aren't perfect, right? So gods aren't necessarily enlightened, but they're in a state that's we could say that's above us, or they have abilities or whatever. I'm just saying that Buddhahood is something that's ideal to all sentient beings, is what I'm hearing here. So that it doesn't matter where you're at on this scale, it's something that all these beings would like to attain. I mean, if they knew of it, I would assume, right?
Yes, that's you are absolutely right. When we say sentient beings, means one who is not enlightened.
Okay.
And also we are talking about the one who is in cycle of suffering natures.
Okay.
And that we call samsara. And also sentient beings means because of their impure the body, speech, and mind, which is imprinted in as actions of their own self in their consciousness, the very subtle consciousness, and also who has a afflicted mind. So because of those things, it come up again and again in this cycle of suffering natures. In this we call the samsara. And so who is rotating in that samsara as being because of their own negative actions and the afflicted mind. So those people we call sentient beings.
Okay. These are the sentient beings. And so now, what do we know about the Buddha nature? Is this something that that we all? I mean, how do we? I think what I'm trying to get at is this something that's sort of in us somewhere that we have to get to reveal, or is this something that we're looking at outside to emulate? Where does this Buddha nature exist?
So Buddha nature actually exists within yourself.
Okay.
The thing is, our mind is, in the very pure nature of our mind, it's like not polluted. It's pure as a crystal. But because of all those external conditions and circumstances, so like it polluting our mind. Mm-hmm. And so one who has purified all those the delusions of your mind and make your mind into a crystal nature and white and transparent, and also who has the knowledges of everything as an omniscient way, by their own joyous effort on virtuous actions, and also all those kind of levels of concentrations deep inside your mind. And so he who reached to the very ultimate level of that thing, and that who has completely attained all those we call supreme enlightenment. So those beings we call Buddha. It's inside you, not outside. Just you need to be awake of that, and you need to purify all those imprints which is polluted and afflicted by your own negative actions that you are accumulating.
So when we are, so in Buddhist practices, there are quite a few visualizations. There's ceremonies. There's empowerments that connect us with different Buddhas that have different ways of strengthening us. I know about the medicine Buddha, for instance, that it's like for good health. Now, when we are visualizing or connecting with these Buddhas, is this more of a way to attune ourselves to our own Buddha nature by reflecting with a being that we know to have attained Buddhahood? Does that make sense? That question?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
The thing is, when we there are many different the Buddha's manifestations in different kind of blessings and empowering empowering blessings that you can attain by using those Buddhas as a aspects of path to make yourself into a completely awakened one. For example, medicine Buddha, what we do is we do the medicine Buddha sadhana, means meditations. So as we see that we have the unsatisfactory mind, we have the unhealthiness bodies, we have all those kind of all-pervading suffering natures within us. So it's all because of our own negative imprints that we have accumulated in our body and from our mind, from our speech. So through the blessings of medicine Buddha, by doing self-generations, means by dissolving all your impurities within you, by through the absorptions and going through the 8 stages of death, that how we actually experience the death, and then reaching to the very final state of death that we call clear light state. And that time, how we reach to that is because of loving kindness and the compassion practices as a right method, and form the wisdom of emptiness by seeing the right wisdoms. So by combining these two, we can able to do this process, although we are living. So in the dying process, and when we reach to the final one, we generate the enlightened body speech of medicine Buddha into you to make your all those impure into a pure through your own visualization. So that's how you are now possessing into a enlightened nature of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha or the deities, and bringing that into your blessings of your body, speech, and mind. So that's how you are transferring that impure into pure, so that you can able to have these realizations and can able to work that in all those kind of processes of omniscient way.
That, it's really amazing that you have this, this tradition, this way of sharing this experience to help people wake up in a way, even if it's just a little bit. It's very encouraging, and it feels good. Even though we can go through a ceremony and feel incredibly blessed and clearer. We know we have a long ways to go, but it helps to motivate us. I'm just saying from my side of it, in my own experience. And then speaking about motivation, there's obviously a will aspect. There has to be. To me, there's a little bit of a conundrum when it comes to desire, right? Because there's like there's a desire that makes us anxious, right? Like it's time to eat. I was like, oh, I'm hungry. It's like, where can I get something to eat? But then there's also the desire to be free and to be clear, like what we're talking about, and we can have that can motivate us to seek these experiences that clear us. But at some point, those don't you have to like? There's some point where you get to where you have to let go of those motivations or something like that. I mean, what I'm wondering about is like, what part of the person is thinking these things, willing these things, and do you eventually have to get to a place where you let that go? I mean, what are your comments on that?
So the thing is, the desires, or we say when we are desire means the aspirations that you have. That aspirations, if it is something virtuous and wholesome, so of course we need to generate that.
Okay.
Because every action that we do without any purpose, we don't do those things. There is always a purpose.
Right.
So the purpose, same like practicing a dharma. They has to have a purpose. Without a purpose, you cannot do that.
Okay.
And the purpose that we, as the Buddha suggestions, is the purpose that is we call for immeasurables. The immeasurables of love, immeasurables of happiness, immeasurables of the compassion, immeasurables of equanimity to all the sentient beings, not only you, because
Okay.
how you are like really seeking for happiness and avoiding suffering. Similarly, all those sentient beings, whoever it in this universe, they have same common like feelings. They wants to be happy and they are avoiding sufferings. But the one that you have with this kind of like motivations that to able to do the welfare and the benefit for all sentient beings, I will do something. I will do virtuous actions, and that action imprints and it blessed to all those people who are seeking for happiness to be happy, have a generations of happiness to them, to those people, and also who are avoiding sufferings through the merits and the wisdom that you have accumulated. That blessings that can purify those sufferings. So that kind of mentality is the very foundations. So that's how the Buddha engaged in the path of all those kind of like contemplations through the listenings from the many different teachers, and by doing more like a meditation on it day by day, hour by hour. So how really happen is the time comes that you can only live, and only your only goal of your life purpose is to able to work on those kind of process, those kind of actions. So that things we call the noble beings, one who are in that stages of path. And that noble beings, when they do a furthermore like accumulations of meditations through their own practices on that thing, and more, and that it reaches that the ultimate level, so that they don't have to do a joyous effort to put in their mind on those kind of actions, and so they reach to the very we call no more learning stage. So that's we call that they have accumulated the omniscient mind. That is the one is supremely enlightened.
Wow, normal learning state. That's
Yes.
what you said. So that as we grow in the practices, and so basically you're saying that it comes to a point where the efforts that we have, in our path, eventually that effort goes away when we become the thing that we've been seeking. It's that's kind of how I'm interpreting it.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. So then once you reach that state, then there's no more effort. You just are that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. That yes, I like that. That kind of makes sense.
One thing also I want to add here is the desire that we have. Like once we are hungry, we would like to eat food.
Right.
And that once we are thirsty, we want to drink water. So those desire is something that how it is founded, how we are in that nature, because we say that this is the something that is that all pervading way, so that we are in that existence.
Okay.
But you can overcome from that. We can overcome from being not thirsty at all, being not hungry at all, being not all those kind of things that we do in our life as a way of ordinary beings. So you can really go beyond that thing. But how it is possible is once only you come to know that we call why we become thirsty, why we become hungry, because the very true cause that why we are in that kind of existence way is because we say that you are not enlightened.
Okay.
You are ordinary beings. So that's why we feel hungry, we feel thirsty, we feel all those kind of pleasure things when the sensory things is now it is kind of connecting with you. But the most important thing is those are the things that we call in an all-pervading way you are in sufferings. Because once you have that kind of craving and grasping mind, so it means you are not you are ordinary, you are not enlightened. So how we really go beyond that is by knowing that what is the true root cause being like that is something that we call, it's because your body, your speech and your mind is impure.
Okay.
And your body, speech and mind which is impure, so there are many things naturally you seek for that, and naturally you generate anger, attachment, desire, all those kind of affliction things there. So what is the very root cause to really go beyond that is by knowing what is the most foundations of those things that is polluted to you. It's we call self-cherishing and self-grasping mind.
Self-cherishing and self-grasping mind. And this could take many forms for different people, right? I mean, the way that manifests could be a lot of different ways. But it has to do with this feeling of needing, I guess, right?
Yes.
Like I don't have what I need to be happy. Kind of feeling that most of us have at some point, right? If not all the time.
Yeah.
And definitely, this is a message that's needed throughout the world, and very, very good to have this for people who want to be awake. One of the things that I hear that I kind of want to get into a little bit is doing the things the virtuous things that we do for all sentient beings. So I mean, there is an inner work, but there's also an understanding of connection to all sentient beings. That there is, I'm not sure how to word this, but it seems like that as we grow on the path, that there's also a growing of awareness to be able to have love and compassion for other people. It's to me, it feels like it's more than just practicing a state of mind. It's being fully aware that I'm sharing this universe with other beings, and that we're connected somehow, and that everything that we do is affecting each other. So he was, how do you view that?
Yeah, you are right. The thing is, let's say in a desire realms. So we are in a desire realms.
Okay, we're in a desire realm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so in a desire realms, so there are many how the nature existence of desire realms is. For example, that we desire that so everything can be good for me. We desire that all those kind of good taste and good sound and good texture and good smell can be provided to me.
To me.
Yes.
Right. Yes, right.
So
okay.
that's what we call desire realms.
Okay.
So that desire realms is also part of the universe.
Right.
So that's how we exist in here. So in a human world that we call human world is in the desire realms because we always desire something.
Yes.
But the most important that we need to focus on, the most ultimate desire that we can able to generate as being a human is something that how we can really work on a desire being enlightened.
Right.
So that is the ultimate desire. So, and to able to work on ultimate desire of being enlightenment, what you need to really go on here is, it's very now tricky one. So you need to let go.
I see.
So
right.
let go all those kind of like a cherishing and grasping mind that you have.
Right.
So once you let go cherishing and grasping mind of yourself and cherishing others, so that's how you are now stepping on the path of enlightenment.
Right.
So that's how you are now entering into the Buddhahood. So
Yes.
that the first thing we call renunciations. So renouncing the worldly life, which is full of all those desire of sensory things, which is not ultimate at all.
Not ultimate at all. Right. Yes. Because it just, right. Once I have that ice cream cone, it feels great. And then, 2 hours later, I'm hungry again. Right. So,
Yes, that ice cream, although we desire that this ice cream can be provided to me, and so we're really seeking for that. Once you have that ice cream, for 1 cup, 2 cup, 3 cup, when that same ice cream, if you are feed it for like in 1 hour, like 20 cups, you feel like, no, this is now poison to you. So how the desire that we are really seeking, we are really craving, grasping for, it is not ultimate way of saying that it's not something that is really the sources of happiness at all.
oh, I see what you're saying. So this desire realm that we're in, the things that we're desiring are holding us back in some way, or it's like a distraction to a truer desire. But the thing is that we're built to sort of, I think, this is the way I feel like, it's like we naturally desire pleasure, desire better, desire happiness, right? But we're naturally, because we're in this realm, we're seeking it in things that are readily graspable, things that we see, things that we experience immediately. And if we have the teaching that we can explore this inner path, that there is an enduring happiness that is beyond all these things. Am I getting to the?
Yes, we say conceptual.
Okay.
Conceptual.
Okay.
The way.
Yes.
So you can be non-conceptual.
Oh, okay.
The concept of
Okay.
like having this ice cream is something very like a pleasure to me.
Yeah.
Or concept of going and to the field of soccer game, and it makes more kind of like satisfying to me. So
Right.
that concept,
Yes.
we call conceptuals. It's you are in that thing.
Right.
So you can become beyond that through being non-conceptual of that.
Yes.
By entering into the path of the Buddhahood.
Right. Oh, so but you know what? I have another question. So, does Buddha enjoy a bowl of ice cream? I mean, can you, once you're in this, if you're in this state where you're free of these attachments, you're free of those kind of desires or the grasping and that sort of thing. I mean, but there's still a beauty in these things. The taste, the senses, there is still pleasure in it. Can you still enjoy these things without having that needy attachment? Is there a state of mind where that's imbalance?
Yes, of course. You can enjoy it.
Okay.
You can enjoy the taste. You can enjoy the games. You can enjoy everything, those pleasurable things by the 6 senses.
Okay.
But the most important is if you think that pleasure is the only like pleasures that is ultimately brings you happiness, that's wrong concept we are
Right.
talking about.
Right,
So that
right.
you can, of course, you can taste the ice cream and feel the joy there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think that that ice cream is ultimately, the causes of happiness,
Right.
but it's not, because we say that all those phenomena in this universe, they are exist only because how we perceive it to them.
Oh.
It's not something that they have like solidly exist by themselves.
Okay.
All those are component things. So
that's-
like ice creams.
So you're talking about quantum physics now.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. How we are. Yeah. Because I mean, I'm relating to. I mean, that's science. Really, what you're talking about there. Okay. But yeah, I just got excited when you said that. So we are creating reality by the way that we look at reality.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the what I'm talking about, because the things that object that is exist there, of course we can use them. But if you think that object is something only that they are useful by their own self, no, we are seeing and we perceiving, and through our own actions it become useful. Otherwise that object itself is not useful at all. It's something that is only that is merely labeled how it is exists in that own existences. For
Right.
example, like a table.
Right.
So when we say table, it is table when we have a perception that table or the object is exists by their own self, solidly, tangibly. It's not.
Okay.
The table itself is exists with all those kind of component things. That how the feet and the legs of the tables, how the upper part of the tables, that how it is all those component things aggregates and become one object. So we label them as a table.
Right.
So that's how they are exist. Once you have a concept that table is exists by their own self and solidly, tangibly, so that's how you can bring like generate all those attachment, ignorance, and all those kind of anger, because that the thing is once it's broken, once it become as an impermanence nature, it become broken and things, then you feel like so something, the solid thing is now it's become kind of like a broken one.
You know what? Something just came to my mind while you were talking, and see if I can, say what I'm thinking here. And that is that it seems like an incredible amount of effort the average person would put into creating and maintaining their own world. I mean, like, when you're a child learning that, oh, this is a table, that's a chair, this is a door, and all these things, right? So we learn how to talk to each other, right? But, as we go through life, we are maintaining all these concepts all the time, looking at reality, and we're like, and now that I think of it, that's an incredible amount of energy that we're spending on maintaining our perception of what's real. I mean, like, we're constantly confirming that, oh, that's a wall and this is that. But I mean, what you're saying that you may be, translating a little bit, but in a clearer, more pure state of mind, it just is.
Yeah.
And that we don't have to be calling it a table and a chair. There is a place where we can just see it as it just is. And that in that state, we're not spending the energy, we're not taking up our mind and, turning wheels about figuring out the world, we're just seeing it. Does that make sense? Am I getting close to something, or you take it from there?
Just only seeing is not I'm really talking about.
Okay.
The thing is how we are using it.
Okay, how we're using it. Okay.
Yes, because if you are using as the things like let's say the ice cream
Okay.
as something that is very tangibly, it brings a sweet and happiness for you. And you are using in that way once you interact and once you eat that ice cream. So what really happened is you are now seeing wrong views on ice cream. Ice cream is, if the ice cream itself, once you are tasting that, it gives you a happiness of like flavors
Okay.
that it is really makes you feel satisfying. But that ice cream is in a very the true nature, it's just something that is giving you a temporary the flavors of the
Okay.
taste. But if you have a concepts and obsessed with your mind that ice cream is the in their own self exist and giving you always a happiness,
Right.
that's the wrong concept that now you're holding on. So
Right.
that's how you build all those. Once ice cream is not there, so you build anger,
Oh, right.
attachment. So
Yeah.
that's how we have to see the object in a different views,
Got it.
in
Got
the
it.
right views, because these are only component exist with all those component things. And then how we can only use that once you have seen that it is merely labeled and it is not the true nature that gives you happiness in every time.
Right. Hey, can I switch for a second here? I want to ask you, Geshe Lekshey, how in your life, I mean, you're obviously living in a monastery in India, Tibetan monastery. Now you're traveling in the U.S. So how did you become it's a geshe is a title, right? An honorary title. So how did you become a geshe? What led you to lead a life as a monk and to follow this path? Just whatever you'd like to share with that, I'd like to know.
First, I joined a monk when I was 16.
Okay.
But my family already decided I will be a monk when I was 8.
Okay.
And so that's how I started my journey being a monk. And then after 16, I literally joined to the monasteries. And then so once you are like not 20s, so the monks, the all over the boys who enter in the monastery, we call novice.
Oh, okay.
So novice are the one that who trained, who learn all those kind of monastic educations and cultures and traditions, but they are not ordained monk at all. And so once you become 20, so and it's up to you whether you want to continue a monk life or not.
Okay.
If you like to continue the monk life, then you can take ordained vows,
Okay.
and you become a monk. So that's how when I become 20, I really feel like this is the purpose of my life.
Good.
So I took ordained vows and become a monk, and throughout all those kind of from the 2002 to all the way to 2022. So I've been studying in our monastery and doing our monastery. There are many different kinds of monasteries there in our society. But I joined in a monastery where our major subject is philosophy,
Oh,
the mind science.
Okay.
So I went to the logic, the philosophy like the logics and we call Parmanavartika, the logic and the reasons.
Okay.
And also we have a perfections of all those the 6 different perfections. So perfections are like giving, moralities, and patience, joyous effort, concentration, wisdoms. So that's we call pragya paramita.
So there's a course of study for
Yes.
each of those perfections.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. Okay.
So it takes us like 5 years
Wow.
to do those studies and complete it.
Wow.
And then I went to the studies of we call madhyamika, means the middle way. It's about emptiness.
Okay.
So and then cosmologies of Buddhist teachings, and also the Vinaya, means Vinaya Pitak, means the monasteries, rules and disciplines. So these are the 5 major philosophy education that it is studied in our monastery. I graduate all those philosophy and become a geshes in
Okay.
2022.
Okay.
It took me almost 20 years.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that would be like maybe like the equivalent of being a doctor of philosophy, but this is in the Buddhist tradition.
Yes.
Right. That's quite a lot of dedication. And but it appears to me that the way you talk about it is it's a joyful way. Like, it sounds like, to me, it feels like that this is something that's been very meaningful and productive for you.
Yes.
Right. Well, Geshe Lekshey, I want to say that it's been wonderful, wonderful. I've loved having this conversation with you today, and I've learned a lot in our back and forth and exchanges. And I want to thank you so much.
So can I add
yeah.
one thing?
Yes, please do. Yeah.
So I was like thinking about, I have missed something when I was in really working on that.
Okay,
about
good.
teaching.
Okay, good.
So what is the concepts of Buddha teaching is, so he said that we are in sufferings, and if you avoid sufferings, it's not the solutions. The suffering will be continuously come to you. So we are in suffering because just being born in a human form, because of our negative imprints of our body, speech, and mind, imprinted to here, and because of afflicted mind, just being born in a human form, there is a all-pervading sufferings. Our body itself is sufferings.
Right.
And also, and then once we are born here, the thing is we get aging, sickness, and die.
Yeah.
So those things is also sufferings, the suffering of sufferings, that we really feel like, aging, that you really feel something, pain inside you.
Right.
And the sickness, of course, and the death, the fear of death. So that's how we are in that existence. And what is the main message of Buddha is, there is a way to go beyond that. And how we really go beyond that, first we need to know what are the causes of sufferings.
Right.
And the causes of suffering is because it's your own work, your own actions, which is like afflicted with killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, harsh speech to others, divisive speech to others, and idle gossiping, covetousness mind, and also ill will and the wrong views. These are the causes of sufferings.
Okay.
This we are acting on those things, and also that afflicted mind of anger, desire, attachment, and ignorance, and so and so forth, like contaminated doubt and the wrong pride and wrong views. So these are because of afflicted mind and the negative imprints of your actions. So that's how we suffer.
I see.
So if really you want to overcome from that, you need to really abandon those causes of sufferings. So there won't be any suffering at all to you. And the next thing is, there's two paths, so which is we call ultimate path that you can work on. And is a way that you can go beyond that thing, beyond the all-pervading sufferings that as being a human that we are suffering. So that is, yes, there is a path of cessation, the sufferings, the end the sufferings.
The end of sufferings, okay.
And
the
there
path.
is a way that how you can end the suffering by practicing on all those kind of aspects of path that really end the sufferings. And what are they? That we call the right method and wisdoms.
Okay.
The right method means loving kindness, compassion, and the very supreme levels of those practices is we call bodhicitta.
Okay.
The mind of awakenings, mind of enlightenment. And then there is another we call right wisdoms, the wisdom understanding on emptiness. So that's how we are stuck with. The wisdom understanding on emptiness is the most important part. It's a wisdom that really gives you to cut out the root of samsara, means suffering existence of cyclic nature. So it's something that is, those kind of suffering come from your ignorance.
Okay.
So by believing that very true concept of thinking about self-cherishing and self-grasping is the only way to bring happiness. But in reality, self-cherishing, the self-grasping is the root cause how we suffer.
Wow. Okay, so we got it backwards, most of us. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how, and if you go completely the different from the self-cherishing and self-grasping and cherishing others. And how we cherish others, because our the universe that we see and the object that we are around with, so they are not ultimately exist by their own self. It's just kind of illusions.
I see.
Like the laptops you see. So if you see the laptop as a really tangible and solid by themselves, it's not. All those kind of little machine is component to each other and make a laptop.
Okay, so it's just, and you can get down to the level of looking at all this, the atoms spinning.
Yes.
It's just, yeah, right. That's what it is. It's just,
Yes, that's merely labeled. How we are depending on that object, how the necessity of that object is arising. How much we are, craving and grasping to that object, that much the importance, the value or price of that thing is arising.
Oh, that's what you mean by arising.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how we have to see that those things are only the causes you more desire, more attachment, and because of that, and then it creates all those kind of anger and all those jealousies, because if you don't have it.
Right. Okay.
So that's the two causes, understanding that we call mind of enlightenment, or to have to work in the clear understanding of wisdoms, on the awareness of the every and each object is emptiness nature.
Understanding the actual nature as emptiness.
Yes. So that's why we are all seeking for something which is emptiness nature.
Okay, it's paradoxical
Yes.
in a way,
Yeah.
but that's, I guess that's how reality is. I mean, what is real? I mean, the mind, when it tries to put labels on it, I mean, of course it's paradoxical because it's the opposite of what's real.
Yes.
Yes. So okay. Wow.
So that's the thing that that we say the Buddha, be awakened one. And check, and how even the gold, when we check how we do that is we melt it, we cut it, we rub it and see the gold is gold. But why not the one that we are living in this world? All those objects, how it is exist, how you are here in this human form, and how everything is going around you, and what is the true purpose of being human. So we don't check on those things.
No, we don't. Right. No, not ordinarily. It just
So
seems
Buddha is the one who awakened one in that thing, and he come to analyze and check in everything. So they are all illusions. That's all those things that we are, although we are not saying that they are not exist at all, they exist, but the true nature of their existence is dependent arising and merely labeled by us.
Okay, well, see, that's an important point, that because I think that sometimes in our language, if we say something is an illusion, it's like we're saying it doesn't exist. But what you're really saying is that it does exist, but not in the way we're thinking about it.
The perspectives.
The perspective. Yes, right. Yeah, perceptions. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
The perceptions of your mind of how it is exists, if you are diluted with all those kind of wrong views. So that's how the all those kind of causes of problems happening there.
I love it. You know what? We really yes. This has been a great conversation, and we're kind of getting close to the end of our time for the podcast here, but I love this conversation. I thank you so much for sharing. This has been very, very...
Thank you very much, Alan.
This has been very gratifying, I will say, our conversation. And what we're going to do now is our little close off. And that is all for this episode of Audible River. To all of our listeners, I would love to hear your comments on our episodes, so please email us at audibleriverpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.